Hey, Nation. Kid Cudi took the stand today, and I'm trying to find out what he told the jury today. So I'm going to try to find the transcripts of what Kid Cudi said to the jury. Let's see. Let me see. Kid Cudi testimony. Kid Cudi testimony. Let me see what Kid Cudi had to say. Kid Cudi testimony. I'm supposed to get an update at 2 o'clock today, so I will see what Kid Cudi says. He must have talked about the Molotov cocktail that that blew up his car. Man, it's just not looking good for Diddy right now. It ain't. It really ain't, Clayman. Uh, his lawyer's got a real fight on your hands. It's like a knife fight. Who's gonna win the knife fight? You know, who's gonna win the knife fight? Yeah, it's gonna be a real knife fight, Hammer Nation. Oh man, shit. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a real knife fight of what Kid Cudi had to say. You know, I don't know if the jury will believe what he had to say. So we're going to see what Kid Cudi has to say, folks. I will be here until they say so. Yeah, so Kid Cudi doesn't have a lot to lose here. No, he doesn't have a lot to lose, Cameron. He doesn't. Yeah, he ain't got a lot to lose, folks. Yep. Yep. Hey, Empress Janet. Hey, Empress Lonnie Long Love. Yeah, we're having a Kid Cudi update today at 2 o'clock on Core TV, and we're gonna see what Kid Cudi has to say. But what they're saying, the jury was just like this, just because he was the one who had his car blown up. If anybody remembers that, but it was never really investigated. You know, it was never really investigated that who blew up Kid Cudi's car. This is a real. My name's Tanya, not Toya. Empress Lonnie. Totanya. It's not that name. So we will see what Kid Cudi has to say. You know, I'm sure Kid Cudi has a lot to say, man. I wish we had cameras in there so we could see what they said. Yep. So we will see right now. Yep. Just give me a minute. No. Yep. Yeah. Let me go to Court TV here. Let me see what they said. Come on, man. Shoot. Move.
Are you still alive? You got us banned from
Okay.
being room parents? I have never been
Let's
more
see
in
what
love
Kid
with
Cudi
you.
has to say.
Who wants to go nuts for donuts?
Fair use, folks.
Show him your folding trick.
I'm not in the mood for your sheet right now.
That's gotta hurt, huh? You keep me coming back for more.
Join the case that puts you in the middle of the mystery.
The answer's in.
Okay. Come on, Kid Cudi. What you got? What you got, Kid Cudi? You know? What you got?
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julia Janae. Thank you for following along with us this afternoon. We're tracking several major trials here at Court TV. In Massachusetts, the trial that we have been following for weeks now, Karen Reed's murder retrial, their dart today. Jurors were excused early yesterday for the long weekend after listening to testimony about fragments of taillight and a glass cup found at the crime scene. We're also monitoring a courtroom in Tennessee. A multi-day hearing is underway for a man convicted of the 2011 death of Holly Bobo. Zachary Adams
Let's see
could
what
get a chance to walk free after
Cudi has
two
to
witnesses
say,
who were
folks.
pointing the finger at him during trial is now saying he made it all up. We will take you there soon. But we do want to begin this hour in New York City, where Sean Diddy Combs is back in court today for his sex trafficking trial. It's day 9, and joining us there from outside of that courthouse where there are no cameras in federal court is Court TV legal correspondent Kelly Craft. Kelly, thanks so much for joining us. I know you've been in and out of the courthouse. Big witness on the stand today in Kid Cudi, but now another witness has actually started testifying. What's the latest from your vantage point?
Well, hi there, Julia. So this witness, Mila Morales is her name, and she did a lot of the makeup for Cassie Ventura. She described herself as she was kind of the big sister. Cassie Ventura was the little sister to her. And some of the things that she's been testifying to is especially an incident that took place over Grammys weekend, in which Sean Combs showed up and then went into a back room with Cassie Ventura. She heard screaming, she heard yelling, and then Cassie Ventura ended up coming out. Sean left, and she noticed several knots on Cassie's head. She noticed a busted lip, also a swollen eye. She then called a doctor friend of hers. The doctor came over the next day, examined Cassie to make sure Cassie didn't have any concussions or anything. But she didn't take her to the emergency room. And why is that? So she was asked a lot about that on the stand. But first, let's put up exactly who Morales is, some background. We have a full screen for you that we can put up. And I can tell you just a little bit more about it. So as I was mentioning, she was the former makeup artist at Cassie Ventura. So far in court, they've been putting up a lot of photographs of Cassie and makeup that Miss Morales did for Cassie. She said she first met Ventura and the photo shoot when Ventura was 16 years old. Morales testified that she considered Ventura like a little sister. So that's one of the things, some of the things she was talking about on the stand. I want to talk a little bit, though, about that cross-examination, because that just got underway with Miss Morales on the stand. And the defense counsel is really doing this rapid-fire way of questioning her, saying, if Cassie wanted to call the police, would you have done that for her? Yes. You did whatever Cassie wanted you to do in regard to those kind of situations. Yes. So basically getting out again something, Julia, that we heard when defense counsel made its
This is
opening
ridiculous,
statement,
man.
that Cassie Ventura, along with the other girls here, had free will. They were grown, strong, capable women who did what they wanted to do. So now we have a friend on the stand, and defense counsel is really kind of grilling her on, well, if Cassie wanted to call the police, you would have done so for her. So it's been interesting to watch that rapid fire cross-examination of this friend that's on the stand. You're taking a look at her right there. Also, let's talk about Kid Cudi. So Kid Cudi, he made his way into the courthouse this morning,
Let's go to
smoking
Kid
a
Cudi,
cigarette.
man.
I believe we have some video of him exiting the courthouse as well. If we can go ahead and play that for our viewers. So he made his way then out of the courtroom after his cross-examination. That ended. This was just before we took the lunch break. You see him there. Julia, when he was on the stand earlier today, I saw him yawning at one point as he was responding to some questions about his Porsche being torched, which he said it was torched, he believes, by Sean Combs, but he was asked on cross-examination, is there anybody that saw Sean Combs at the scene when your car was torched? And, he said, well, no. And then defense counsel said, are you familiar with the fact that the DNA that came back from that car, it had female's DNA on it? Now, there was an objection to that, so we didn't get into further information on that because it was sustained. So interesting to see him on the stand testifying about his relationship with Cassie Ventura, and then how there was a time when then he did meet up with Sean Combs after the car incident. He described it as when he walked into the Soho house, Sean Combs was standing there gazing out a window, his hands behind his back. And he said on the stand that it looked like he was a Marvel villain that was standing there. He said he was so calm in the meeting, meaning Sean Combs, that it was off-putting because of his demeanor. He did ask him during that meeting when it ended. He grabbed a hold of his hand. They shook hands, and he said, what are you going to do about my car? And Sean said to him, I don't know what you're talking about. At that point, they broke their hand grip with one another. And Sean said to him, according to his testimony, hey, I thought we were straight. And he said in response, he said, well, you're not going to tell me about my car. So it was interesting to watch the testimony of Kid Cudi, Julia.
So interesting to hear more details about this car, because we've heard about the bottle, perhaps this Molotov cocktail, and now we're hearing about this potentially female DNA. I love how you laid it out for us, but again, like you said, there's that objection, so we didn't hear more. What are we expecting next? I know court is only going to be, today is the last day of court this week, is that right?
Yes. So tomorrow, court is dark. Monday, obviously, for the long Memorial Day weekend, which it doesn't feel like Memorial Day weekend here in New York because it's freezing. But no court on Monday, back at it on Tuesday. But we are expected to get to a few more witnesses today. We'll just have to see how long this cross-examination goes of Miss Morales. But we're going to also hear from a hotel witness, also someone who worked for Sean Combs, his former CFO, so his former chief financial officer. So there are a few other people that still the federal prosecutors want to get through today. We'll see if they end up doing that. Otherwise, they'll be back on Tuesday.
Kelly Craft, our legal correspondent there on the ground, bringing us all of the details.
That's about all we got
Let's
today,
get back
folks.
inside of the courthouse and bring in this hour our trial attorney guest who is standing by, Michelle Thomas. Michelle, Kelly just breaks it down for you in terms of what's happening in that courtroom. We don't have cameras there because it is a federal courtroom, but wow. The details about Kid Cudi and what he is revealing in a much clearer way than we've heard before, because no doubt prior to this, he didn't want to have any problems with Sean Diddy Combs and wasn't going on the record at length about what happened. But tell me your thoughts on us now hearing so much about this incident.
Yeah, I mean, his testimony was compelling. And here's what's interesting about Kid Cudi. He really has nothing to gain by being there other than simply telling the truth. So I think there's already a level of credibility to his testimony, because who wants to be in a position of opposing P. Diddy Combs. But he's telling a story, he's observing what occurred, and it also adds credence to this concept that that Sean Diddy Combs, he controlled and coerced every aspect of essentially Cassie Ventura and other alleged victims' lives. It wasn't just easy for her to walk away. When she tried to walk away and get into a relationship with someone else, this is what happened: alleged arson, alleged violation or breaking into his vehicle. I mean, a lot occurred if he tried to go against Diddy, and that's what was underscored by the testimony of Kid Cudi.
Michelle, all of these witnesses that we have heard about so far have been pointing to really the bedrock of this case, which is Cassie Ventura. They all relate back to her, his control of her, the escorts that she, according to the prosecution, was forced to be with, and the abuse that she suffered. Do you think that for this to be a successful sex trafficking case in the eyes of the jury, no doubt the prosecution says they have plenty, but are we going to need to see more alleged victims? We know there were 3 named in the indictment. 1 is not going to be called victim number 3 because of a lack of cooperation, not getting in touch with the prosecution on the eve of trial. But we haven't heard victim number 2 on the stand as well.
Well, of course, it would help and bolster the prosecution's case if additional alleged victims testified in a similar manner that Cassie Ventura has. However, for the sex trafficking charge, remember, he's charged with committing sex trafficking with force, coercion.
We'll see what happens
violence.
with this,
and we've
man.
seen that framework and foundation laid through now multiple witnesses. And so even though his team tries to allege that there was consent and that it was consensual and that she was free to leave, we see witness after witness, including Kid Cudi today, say she was not free to leave or else she faced extreme severe repercussions, both to the persons around her whom she cared about, like her attempted boyfriend there, as well as to her own person. We've seen these violent photos of the abuse and the injury she sustained. And so it undermines this concept that she was able to give consent because Diddy was in the background controlling everything. So I think her testimony with the corroborating witnesses is compelling for the sex trafficking charge.
I love that you pointed that out, that he is the witness that is sharing that she was not free to leave because here she is trying to start a relationship with someone else, and all of this ensues allegedly after she tries, and even to the point of property damage and potential violence. So I think that is a great point to make about what these jurors heard for now, and we will hear more updates from Kelly at the top of every hour, so you can always tune in here to know what's going on in that trial in New York.
Well, we'll see what happens, man. You know, we will see what happens with it, Hammer Nation. Because, listen, shit. Come on, man. Shit. Well, we'll see what happens with it. Hey, Ralph. What do you think, Ralph? Huh? What do you say, Ralph? Let me see. Let me get an invite here. Let me copy that. Let me copy that and paste it. There you go, Ralph. It's Kid Cudi. He asked Puffy, what about his car? And he said, I don't know what you're talking about. Somebody threw up, and the defense lawyer said, did you see anybody throw that Molotov cocktail at your car? No, but he had a feeling Puffy was behind him getting his car destroyed. You know? It's a weird thing, man. I think the prosecution better start. Prosecution is probably putting their meat and bones and potatoes into this thing. It's getting it's looking like Puffy ain't got nothing else to lose now. You know? Is anybody lying here? You know? He had a makeup artist said you could have gone to the hospital with Cassie's bruises. You know, I'm sure there's going to be another update coming up, but it's just looking bad right now. It really is. Puppy, I don't know. Oh, there he is. Just a minute. There you go, Ralph.
What's going on, Hammer Nation?
Oh, nothing, Ralph. What you got? What you got to say, man? This is
Let me make sure I'm on the right microphone because I was trying to get on somebody else's show a little while ago, and my joint was acting up. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying. I came in maybe about 4 or 5 minutes ago. You know, and I want you to update me on what's going on because I wasn't following the trial. What's happening?
Well, Kid Cudi took the stand and he talked about his car being destroyed. And he said that puppy looked like he was a villain Avenger. Sorry. And that, and he said, I thought you and I were straight. And Puppy says, and Cuddy says, what about my car? It's destroyed. Somebody, and he said, I don't know what you're talking about. The defense says, did you see Puppy or anybody else throw something at your car? No. And the defense brought female DNA, but the prosecution has done it to that. So, right now, Kid Cudi has nothing else to lose by saying what he's saying. You know, your thoughts.
So hold up. So Kid Cudi actually admitted that Puffy was the one that set his car on fire.
He didn't say the defense said, did you see Puffy or anybody else throw a Molotov cocktail at your car? No, but his car was, and he asked Puffy, "What about my car?" And he said, "I don't know what you're talking about." That's what Puffy said.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why do they got? Hold on. Let me share your show. Let me share your show. Hold up.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Thank you, Ralph.
Give me a minute. Hold
It's
up.
a short trial today because they will be back at it on Tuesday because of Memorial Day holiday coming up. Yeah, I broke my Galileo glass thing and it broke. I paid like 9 or 10, $16 for it, and that's gone. But it's just weird that you know there are people that work for him did not say a doggone thing. Okay.
Well. Did you cover the girl that testified yesterday or the day before yesterday? I don't know which
Yeah,
day it
I heard
was
that Cassie's
exactly.
mother testified,
No,
and she
not the mother. I'm talking about Dawn.
daughter.
Dawn.
I think I don't know. Her testimony was kind of suspect at the time.
So why was that?
I don't know
Why
the
was
inconsistencies in her statements to the police, to the prosecution team. That her story just she doesn't remember most of everything that happened, but she did. She said she saw a puppy rough Cassie up, but it was some inconsistencies in her
so
story.
that's a domestic violence thing. Why they got this man on federal trial? See, a
Well,
lot of things need to be looked into. You
yeah, like
understand
I
me,
know was
Tanya? You
yeah,
know what I mean? We got
yeah.
to look into a lot of these
Well,
things. Now, understand this was a freaky boy. You
yeah,
understand me? But
yeah,
do he deserve 15 years of his life taken away? Maybe 3 for the domestic violence if she would have filed charges at the time when it happened. But no, she kept going on with it. And they got evidence of her contacting these sex
yeah.
workers. And nobody talking about that. That's
And
crazy.
right now, the mother said that she had to, because Puppy threatened Cassie with those sex tapes. If he didn't give her 20, if she didn't give him $20,000, so she called her mom and told her what happened. They took out a home equity loan to give him the money, and all of a sudden, the money came right back.
It came back tenfold. They told me she got 30 million from the takeoff. from everything, and she still has to testify. Because
Yeah.
when the feds subpoena you, just like they subpoenaed Kid Cudi, you have to testify. Yeah.
Well, he testified in the so what I don't I'm not in that jury room in that courtroom, but they said that he testified about I thought you and I were straight, Puffy, and he said, "What about my car?" And he said, "I don't know what you're talking about." You know, this is
Yeah,
getting
and listen, you don't burn my car up over a piece of coochie. You don't do nothing like that. That's
he
crazy.
got jealous of that, and and one of them said, "You about to disappear," and oh hi, straight Godzilla,
Yeah, he
yeah,
was mad. He was upset because this
hey,
guy was and his not this guy, his girl had an interest in him. And if
yeah,
you was really laying it down, Puffy, she wouldn't have interest in other men. If you don't invite other men to your bedroom, then your woman wouldn't have these desires for other men. But you
they had
you was
an
inviting men to your bedroom. What did you
FBI
expect?
they had an FBI agent testify when they raided the house and they found stiletto heels, shoes, piles and piles of shoes, Viagra, cocaine, or whatever they saw in there. And the
And a
gun,
whole lot of baby oil.
yeah, because as he said, I don't know who said that he had one of his staff put baby oil in the swimming pool.
In the swimming pool.
Yeah, this is
That's crazy. I wonder how that looked because oil and water, that don't mix. So
yeah,
what was that all about?
yeah.
Listen, I'm glad I ain't
Him
rich.
saying that you work for Puffy, you work for him, you're slave to Puffy because what did they say? He worked really godly hours working for Puffy from 11 o'clock to around 6 in the morning and everything. So this is getting weird right now, Ralph. I'm gonna keep an eye on this and see what the next witnesses has to say. They
Well,
have a
listen, Tanya. I did plenty of jobs where I had to work 11 o'clock to 6, 7 in the morning, but the boss didn't demand me to baby oil myself up and bust it open. I worked plenty of jobs, but I just
really
want to get paid and go home. I
yeah,
never worked a job when a guy had 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
and the guy that worked for him
Yeah,
said he would call him up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for cheesecake. That's what he did to making the band. He said, go to the bridge and get me some cheesecake at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You know?
cheesecake 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
See, that's a red flag right there. You
Yeah, that's
understand me?
what Puppy always does.
Yeah, that's a red flag right there. You
Yeah.
understand me? And like I said, I'm from New York City. I'm
Yeah.
from where Puff Daddy is from. We
Yeah.
talk the same, but he knew how to pick and choose them. And a lot of these guys moved to Miami, you know, down to Florida when they get real rich so they could do all these suspect things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because listen, you'll get exposed up here. And dudes up here ain't going for that shit, man. And
No.
I'm looking at the dudes that's on trial, like the sex workers,
Yeah.
and I know for
One was called
sure.
the Punisher. One was called the Punisher.
Yeah, and you know what is crazy to me? It's dudes in New York City that look way more cut up and no homo, way better than these guys, but he knew not to try dudes in New York like that. Because you
Yeah.
would get exposed. He
Yeah.
went down to Miami where
Well,
that shit is cool at. With DJ
I know.
Khaled,
Yeah.
Rick Ross,
Yeah.
Meek Mill, all them be in a swimming pool with thongs on. You understand me, Tanya?
Yeah.
And it was down there just doing that shit, right?
Yeah.
And now it's coming to the light. Real
I,
shit.
yeah. Albie Shore might testify. Shine might testify because he went to jail for him when that gun thing at the club. But listen, Ralph, this is getting really weird. Hey, people from Hammer Nation, like and share this video. If you want to hit my cash app, it's $Tanya939 for the content that I'm bringing y'all.
Yo,
I
y'all see that? Y'all see that? Y'all see that cash app rolling across?
on this
Y'all
trial,
see that cash app rolling
I'm
across?
gonna, I'm
Make sure
gonna
y'all support the show, man. Listen, Tanya putting in that work, man.
Yeah.
And she the only one really covering the Diddy trial. That's why I'm over here.
Yeah.
She the only one doing it. Let's go.
We want good people here in Hammer Nation, and if anybody acts up in this chat, I'll tell my managing mod to just throw them out.
Tanya, ignore the chat. Keep your show going.
And I'm
They here for your show. They not here for you to worry about the chat. Let the chat be the chat, and you provide the show and watch what happens.
Having his makeup artist, the makeup artist was on the stand, and she was like a little sister to Cassie. Why didn't you take her to the hospital? Because she said it was during Grammy week, and then Puffy showed up, took her in the bathroom, closed the door, and she came out with a busted lip.
Man, listen, Tanya, listen, understand this, right?
You.
When you come into the courtroom after you receive $30 million, you supposed to sound like that dude that was at the Young Thug trial. What's his name? Woody? Lil Woody. You supposed to came in there and said, I don't recall. If I was Cassie and I got 30 million, I don't recall.
Yeah.
I don't recall. I don't recall. I just don't recall. You know what? And Woody didn't get $1. And he came in there and saved Young Thug's life.
Yep.
Real shit.
Yeah. And you know what? I hope Al B. Short testifies. I don't know if they'll ask Mace. Hey, little Kim, you know Puffy? You know?
Straight Godzilla say he about to hit your Cash App. Let me know when he do it so I can shout him out. You understand me, Hammer Nation? But keep cooking. Yeah, I need to hear about this trial. Yeah, get it. And let me know what King Cudi said. So he got out the, because I don't mean to cut you off. You hear me, sister? I don't mean to cut you off. But the only thing I seen earlier when I was at work, I seen King Cudi getting out of a black SUV, and he was smoking a cigarette, and he walked into the courthouse. Now, tell me what happened after that. That's what I need to know.
Yeah, well, they asked, he was on the stand, and he said, I thought, what about they asked Puffy about his car, because his car was torched. Somebody threw a Molotov cocktail at his car. And he asked Puffy, what about my car? And Puffy told Kid Cudi, I don't know what you're talking about. So he's not, and the defense asked him, did you see Puffy or anybody else destroy your car? And he said, no. So who do you think torched your car, Kid Cudi? It was messed up, you know? Kid Cudi just testified and he left the minute, you know. And
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Was there text messages exchange between him, what's the girl name? Cassie and Diddy?
They had.
I'm talking about displayed in the courtroom. Did they present the evidence that Diddy was actually mad at this guy?
No, because what Kid Cudi said, that he was like a villain Avenger. He had like this strange look on his face because he knows his car got messed up, and Cassie, I don't understand it, Ralph. That it's looking bad for him, but it's like going to a knife fight. Who's gonna win the knife fight?
Nah. When you go into a knife fight, you got to go in smart. I don't care who your opponent is. Yeah. I don't care how much money he got. None of that. So what I'm trying to figure out is, do Kid Cudi have any like type of paper trail that will lay down that Diddy was involved with the arson on his vehicle?
Yeah, that's why Cassie broke up with Kid Cudi, because it got too much. Because Puffy was jealous of that.
So he was going to everybody that was trying to get at her.
Yep. But it's just, and then there's people outside the federal court wearing free Puffy T-shirts, and they're asking anybody to pay they'll pay you like $20.
Yeah, I heard that, but I don't know how true that is. One
lady said, she said, no, I don't want to wear a free Puffy T-shirt. No.
I see people wear them T-shirts, but I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
because that's actually illegal to have somebody outside paying people
Oh,
to do that. And we in New York State, New York City. They ain't playing that game here. You understand me? At all. So
yeah.
I don't know how true that is.
Uh,
Real shit.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet. So yeah, and it's just I always say, man, it's going to get looking real bad because this trial's going to last like 6 to 8 weeks. But I'll be on it by Tuesday. I'll be back on it by Tuesday. But everybody, like and share this video, and if you like what I'm throwing down, do what you like to do. But I'm just saying right now, Puffy, you bring, and then he said that he had a $10 million hit out on Tupac and Biggie.
Well,
Yeah.
well, we waiting for that. That'll be a whole different case.
Right, yeah, because is still there. Hey, Fat Joe, what do you got to say? Little Kim, what do you got to say now? Anybody that worked with Puffy, okay? I don't think Little Kim's going to say. Oh, Farnsworth. Hey, Farnsworth, you was with Puffy in all these videos. Farnsworth Bentley does not want anything to do with Puffy because Farnsworth said that Diddy used him as
No, but Tanya, I gotta stop you because a lot of dudes that was rocking with them, and you just named a lot of them.
yeah.
They all homosexuals. They have no problem doing what they doing. So if you are a adult and you give permission to the things that you doing, then you can't be charged with that. They charging this man with whipping ass and hiring sex workers.
Yeah, sex trafficking.
Yeah, that's crazy to me because even though hiring sex workers is nasty work, but he shouldn't go to jail for 15 years for that.
Decades.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Beating Cassie ass and giving her $30 million. He shouldn't go to jail for 15 years for that. Get a nigga a year, time served, 2 years probation. Stay away from baby oil or some shit like that. You know?
You want me to tell you the makeup of the jury?
Get. Speak your piece. This your show. Speak your piece.
7 men, 7 black women, 7 black men, and 1 white woman. So it's a mixture in that Diddy trial.
I don't give a fuck what kind of civilian you put inside that jury. If they never slipped off no baby oil, they gonna convict this nigga. You understand me? You hear me, Tanya? They gonna convict this nigga. If they never accidentally slipped off some baby oil, they gonna convict. Why you got so many bottles?
Yeah,
cut it out.
Got those bottles of baby oil from.
And then they told me, and damn, I hate to talk like this because I'm starting to sound like the bum. But they saying that after all this threatening shit that the nigga said, once he pulled the shit out, they was like, oh, that's not gonna hurt me.
He got mad about his old friend there.
I heard that part in the trial. The girl said after he pulled his thing out, I said, oh, I ain't worried about nothing. I done did a few of those little things.
About that. He's not the same Puffy as it is. But listen, this is going to be a knocked out, drag out affair in this courtroom. And Straight Godzilla said baby oil restraining order. Oh, God, man. But, it's witnesses after witness at that the prosecution still have to finish.
It's not looking good, but it's not looking like a sex trafficking case.
Yeah,
it's not looking like a sex. It looked like a nigga whipped a little ass, and he horny than a motherfucker. That's all I see.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you right
now.
I'm
jealous because when a nigga try to get his bitch, he set a nigga car on fire. Yeah, that's worth 7 years, in New York City. Arson, nigga. Yeah. Don't be caught setting a nigga car on fire because he fucked your bitch. That's out of line too, nigga. Real shit. But certain shit it don't deserve 15 years. Cut it out.
Well, right now his lawyer he's spending a lot of money on his lawyers. $10 million for all the lawyers that he's got. Mrs. Mark Garagos, his daughter, is doing um
And he got jerked right there too. He got jerked. He ain't need all them lawyers.
Yeah. So listen,
He got jerked right there. But he's so scared, he in there with a Bible and baby oil, right? And he in there trying to, thinking he going down. Nigga, this case is weak. Them lawyers is working you, nigga. And he don't even know that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And you know what? The funny thing about it is, it's not really, he's not really taking this serious. I'm sure he must be taking it seriously, but Puffy.
Oh no, Puffy taking it seriously.
Oh yeah, so this is his life on the line.
Yeah, you could believe that.
If he goes to prison, it's going to have a ripple effect on the music industry as it is.
Oh, now the music industry is already tossed around.
Yep.
Only thing they hoping is they can end this shit quick. You hear me, Tanya? Before more names come out. Before more names come out.
Mentioned to this, Ralph, the recorded artists are praying to God they don't have to testify in this trial because they don't want their names dragged through the mud in this. They don't. And that's
so all that other shit we see with him and Meek Mills with matching outfits, Meek Mill in the pool, cooling his booty off, and all that shit. All that shit is out the window because the feds ain't bringing it up. They already worked out the deal. You understand me? And Diddy gonna beat this shit, bro. On some real shit. I'm telling you, he gonna beat it.
Well, we'll see what happens after this. I'm gonna be on this till the end when they have a verdict. Okay, I'm gonna be.
But he's not gonna all the way beat it because I see what they focusing on. Yeah. And arson is definitely a serious thing. You understand me?
Yes.
Yeah. Setting shit on fire, your ass will go to jail. Yep. Okay? Yep. And then threatening people, your ass will go to jail. So they might get about 5 years out of the diddler. And he'll be right back. Real shit.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to be live again pretty soon for another update and see what they say because it's a short trial and they're not going to have trial again until Tuesday. So I will be on this every day because I haven't, people be in the outside the courtroom. They have tickets or something in there. I've seen a lot of other. What? I don't think Puffy's going to take the stand straight, Godzilla.
Listen, I live in New York City, and I'm not going up there because what I see now with everything in New York City, it turned into, like a content creator, Instagram clout chasing movement in New York City.
People said he got transcripts of the trial. Some people that are bigger than me have transcripts of the trial, but I'm not big. I'm not a big fish like everybody else is. But I like to say I'm going to keep it on an even keel and just keep doing what I'm doing. And
damn! I was actually rocking with Stray. What's his name?
Stray Godzilla.
Godzilla 22. I was actually rocking with you until your last comment, bro. Your last comment. Salute to my girl Nessa. Oh shit. Nessa in the building. What's going on with you, sis? You know how we do, Ness. You heard? You know how we do, Ness. But what Godzilla did was he said when Puffy take the stand. So you gotta understand any good lawyer, right? And I'm not banging on you, but I want you to think about shit in the future, like for yourself. Any good lawyer would tell a defendant, never take the stand.
No, I don't think he'll do it.
Never. Puffy will never take this. It's bad enough. His Instagram posts is fucking him up right now. Do you think a real good seasoned lawyer, and he got a whole bunch of them, do you think they will recommend this nigga to take the stand? Hell no.
Nope.
And see, this how I judge my audience. You know what I mean? Because we're never going, all of us got to go. But I want to be here to educate. And I want y'all to know that you could never take the stand with all these allegations, bro. ever. And
The
if a lawyer tell you that, you need to fire him immediately.
Makeup artist testifies the jury had injuries following a 2010 hotel argument with Puffy. Kraft testified that he extracted data from 3 of Victoria's laptops. There's another witness on the stand now. Joshua Croft. I don't know who he is, but he's a makeup artist, I guess.
Okay.
I'm pushing this up right now, the volume.
Yeah, let's hear his testimony. You ain't gotta let us hear, but keep commentating. Let us know what's going on.
Cross said one of the laptops had been set to back to default, and another open to a login screen with user profiles like for Frank Black, and a guest profile. So it's just there's not too many people at the courthouse right now. It's just reporters and other people. It's not really jam packed at all.
It's raining. Yeah. You hear me, Tanya? It's raining in New York City.
Yeah, it is.
It been raining all motherfucking day. I went to work 4:00 in the morning and it was raining. And when I came home at 1:00, it was still motherfucking raining.
It's still raining.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go to a trip next week to see my stepbrother. I'm going to a farm. But I like to say, just like and share this video. Anybody in Hammer Nation, like and share this video. Hit that like button. And if you want to bless the host, that'll be fine too. If not, that's okay. You know, but I'm going to keep on this trial until the very end there, Ralph. I really am.
Listen, and I will be following. But I'm about to check out. You hear me, Hammer Nation? Okay. Salute to you, man. Yeah.
Bye, Ralph.
And I appreciate you for, interacting with our bullshit, even though you're a positive person. You know what I mean? But we appreciate you.
And I
you
always like to say,
one, man.
Before I go, in the famous words of Captain Murdoch of
Rewind that. Hold up. Because I feel the same way. Rewind that and say it one more time.
Okay.
Say it one more time. Let's go.
Okay. In the famous words of Captain Murdoch of Lethal Weapon, I'm getting too old for this shit. And Hammer Nation, you all have a good day. If you want to hit the cash, have a $sign Tanya 939. Hit that like button. Share this video because it's going to be a long haul for this trial. Puffy, you're bringing it on yourself, dude. But listen, I would not have Gene Deal on the stand. Oh, God. He was out there.
Oh, hold on. Damn, you done broke up Gene Deal. Hold up, I got to come back. Gene Deal is my nigga, and I be seeing him in Harlem all the time. But Gene Deal, you clout chasing, bro. You have no reason to be at that trial, bro. You clout chasing.
He was out
my
there.
Nigga.
He was out there.
Yeah, he clout chasing. That's ugly.
What he keeps saying what he did, that he was his bodyguard.
Yeah, but he's not even involved in the case. Nigga, if you want to do something, Gene Deal, and I hate to be this guy. And this is how you made your claim to fame.
Yep.
Prove that Diddy got Biggie taken out, nigga. I'm from Brooklyn. Prove that. And then we be riding, nigga. On some real shit. And with that being said, I'm out.
Okay, thank you for stopping by, Ralph.
Yo, always, anytime, Tanya.
In Hammer Nation, we will keep on this trial. And I'd like to say one more time before I end this show, in the famous words of Captain Murdoch of Lethal Weapon, I'm getting too old for this shit. And Puffy, you just lost it.
And yo, salute to Hammer Time Funk. You understand me?
Yeah.
It don't matter if it's 1 to 2 people over here. She's dedicated and she be bringing the facts. So whether y'all see it now or later, y'all gonna see it. Appreciate you, sister. Peace. Yeah.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Okay. Let me get out of here. And listen, Hammer Nation, this is getting to be really, really something else. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I like to say this. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for Ralph stopping by. Thanks for the rest of Hammer Nation stopping by. And and I'm out of here. Bye, folks.
You don't stop.